Hi, welcome to Applied AI Series Part 2. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss what machine learning is. This series is brought to you by Skills Zahira, and I'm Dr. Sadafsi Shan. In this part, you will learn what is machine learning, what are the three types of machine learning: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforced learning, and what is the difference between the three. Machine learning. Now, have you ever taught a trick or a game to a friend? That is exactly how computer learns also, through machine learning. Now, machine learning means computer is going to learn from examples without being told exactly what to do. So imagine you have a robot friend, let's name the friend Robo. So Robo loves to learn new things, but instead of being told exactly what to do, that you have to do exactly this and this, Robo watches, listens, observes, and then learns from the example. That is exactly how machine learning works. And this is exactly what machine learning means also. It's when computer learn by themselves, just like kids do, by practicing or by learning from a bike ride or practicing math. That is exactly what machine learning is and how it works. In the diagram over here, you can see in machine learning, you give them data and you give them answers. This is how it's supposed to work. It learns and then develops the rules itself. There are three types of machine learning: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. Supervised learning is when you have a task given and you have to predict a certain value for the coming years or make predictions. So that is when supervised learning model is used. Unsupervised is data driven, where we have to identify clusters or groups. Then we prefer the unsupervised model. And reinforcement is when we learn from our mistakes. So let's discuss these in detail. Supervised learning. Supervised learning is when computer learns with examples, with answers. So you're going to give the answers and you're going to give the data, and it is going to do homework with the teacher helping. So it's just like in the beginning when you don't know something, the teacher is helping you with the answers. This is how it looks like. For example, if I'm learning how to write a letter A, so the teacher is first going to tell me this is what A looks like, and then I'm going to try to copy or replicate it. So for example, I am going to be given an example. For example, in the picture, you can see there are two fruits, and there's an apple and there's a banana. So the teacher is going to show me the pictures. This is what an apple looks like. It's red, it's round, and this is what a banana looks like. It's supposed to be curved and it's supposed to be yellow. And then the robot is going to say, okay, I got it. This is what the picture looks like. And next time, every time I see something similar to it, I will know whether this is an apple or a banana. So next time, even if I don't see the exactly same picture and I see something similar, for example, you can see over here, there's a single banana over here. The robot is automatically the robot, which if you're not familiar, in the previous part one, we named our machine learning friend Robo. So Robo is automatically going to um, realize and learn that this is a banana. So because it has been shown before, it has learned from its previous examples, pictures that were stored in it. So what are the steps of supervised learning? So first of all, what we do is we collect data, we clean the data. By cleaning the data, we mean all the uh, useless data is set aside and important data is organized, which is going to help the computer learn better. You label the data. For example, this is apple, this is orange, this is a banana. Then we split the data. Splitting the data means that all the data you have, for example, if you have 100 pictures, so you take 70 pictures to train the model, and you use 30 pictures to test it if it has learned it correctly or not. So after you splitting the data, you train the model on the training data set. So we use the training data set to train the machine learning model, and then we use the 30% remaining data set to test the model and make predictions. Then we check the accuracy of the model by running the entire code. And then if we see the accuracy needs to be improved or the results are not according to what we require, then we improve the model. Otherwise, if the result is as we wanted it, then we use the model for the application that we are using it for. Could be for predicting the prices or identifying certain objects um, based on the application. So what are the real life examples of supervised learning? So you can use supervised learning in so many diversified fields. It can be used for detecting crop disease, object detection, or images. For example, if I want to detect cars and I can use models, certain models for that. Sales prediction, if I want to predict what is going to be the sales for the next 2 years, email spam detection, handwriting recognition, product recommendation. I want just like you open up your phones and computers and you get recommendations of what to see, what to buy. So machine learning helps us to give those recommendations. Medical diagnosis, weather forecasting, credit card fraud detection, house price prediction, online exam auto grading. You can do language translation, loan approval, stock price prediction, traffic sign recognition. So the applications are endless. There are many applications. Okay, so now once we are clear about supervised learning, let's see what unsupervised learning is. Unsupervised machine learning is like solving a puzzle without knowing the picture. You have an unlabeled set of data with different shapes, right? So Robo gets data without any answers and tries to figure things out on its own. So you have all these different shapes and you're going to try to make something out of it. Just like a big box of Lego given to children of all colors and shape, and Robo groups them by color or shape. So what the model maybe does is separate all the colors on one side and the other colors, or it can segregate it by shape, all the circles on one side, all the triangle on one side, and all the boxes on the other side. So examples you can see is basically what it is doing is it is grouping similar things on on a certain pattern, in a certain pattern, right? So grouping similar customers in a store, finding patterns in a book or song is all an application of unsupervised learning. Reinforcement learning. Now, reinforcement learning is learning to play a video game by getting points. So robot tries things, and if it gets it right, if it does well and it gets things right, it gets a reward like a golden coin. And if it makes a mistake, it learns to avoid that mistake next time. So I'll give you an example for this. So Robo's learning to play basketball, something it's totally unaware of. It has not learned how to play basketball before. So every time Robo makes a score, we are going to reward it by giving it a high five. But if it's not getting a high five, that means it needs to learn again. So if you, in this way, this is just like a child learning how to walk. So when the child is walking correctly, you clap and you applaud and you're happy. And if the child falls, so the child tries again. So he or she tries again, and next time they succeed. And when they succeed, you give them a reward again by applauding and clapping and being happy, right? So examples of reinforced learning is self-driving cars, which learn to stay in their lane, and robots learning how to walk or follow a certain path, a robot trying to follow a certain path. These are all example of reinforcement learning. So let's look at an engaging question-based activity now using ball and a dog example to help learn, understand, and differentiate between what is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So let's discuss 3 cases. In the first case, you are training a dog to bring the red ball when you say fetch. So when you say fetch, you have told and every time I say fetch, the dog is supposed to bring you a the red ball. So can you guess if this is supervised learning, unsupervised, or reinforced? Okay, keep the answers to yourself. We'll discuss this in a while. Case 2 is when you let the dog play freely in the park. Every time it brings you a red ball, you give it a treat. It brings a stick or another toy, it gets nothing. Over time, it learns to always bring the red ball to get the treat. Sound familiar? So let's look at the third case. In the third case, you put a box of different color balls in front of your dog. You don't say anything or give instructions. The dog groups similar balls together, all the red in one place, all the blue in another. Now let's look at the the answers. In the first case, because the dog was trained already, every time you say fetch, then the dog is supposed to bring the red ball. This is supervised learning. And the second case, as the dog is getting a reward for the right answer, this is reinforcement learning. And in the third case, as the grouping is being done, the dog is figuring out itself a pattern for or grouping it in a certain place. This is unsupervised learning. I hope this example clarified the concept of supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning, and gives you a better clarity of what machine learning is. Well done. And we are going to continue with more such lectures. So stay tuned for more on Applied AI series. Like and subscribe for more such content. Thank you and see you in the next video.